Can your life be changed as a minimalist? Can you become more clear on your goals without clutter? Can minimizing your waste and maximizing your resources to their full potential really make your life better? Stay tuned and find out. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? So what is minimalism? Joshua Becker of Becoming Minimalist says, minimalism is the intentional promotion of the things we most value and the removal of anything that distracts us from it. This perfectly describes minimalism and is about having a clear understanding of what you value most in your life. This can mean that things take up space and time, then intentionally removing anything in your life that gets in the way of what you value most. So let's talk about these 5 steps that I'm going to talk about of how to become a minimalist in 2020. Tip number 1, only buy things that you need. So before every purchase, you need to ask yourself the following questions. Do I not own that item yet? Would my life be improved by the purchase? And would I incur any disadvantages to the purchase? So what do I mean by this? I mean, if you haven't got that item yet, is it a need or is it a want? If it's an absolute need, then you can go out and get it and do own it. But you have to ask yourself, if I don't own it yet, why am I getting it? Is this something which I don't particularly need, or is this something else that I'm wanting to do as a luxury purchase? And if there is a luxury purchase, is there a real improvement to your life by purchasing this luxury purchase? And then also obviously ask yourself if there's any disadvantages to maybe getting this item, and sort of weigh up the pros and cons of each, and how expensive might it be compared to maybe other cheaper versions, and are you going to pay more for a better quality version of that item? So you just have to ask yourself these questions and kind of assess where you are and how you're going to go forward with your purchase. Tip number 2, avoid the accumulation of unnecessary items. So how does this work? Quite simply, for every object that comes into your home, another must give way. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get rid of every item if one more item comes into your home. So there's no defined amount of items that we need, like 100 or 200 or whatever. Obviously, you need enough items that you can live well and you can live happily to the best of your ability. What it means is basically unnecessary clutter, which is like building up and building up. So you just need to try and reduce that unnecessary clutter, and not try and buy things which are just going to add up to clutter as well. I mean, things like decorative items are great, but they can just add up as clutter. Whereas something which is like a photo of a memory with a family or friends, this can be a really added item to have, and a really good item to have around the home for that reminder and that kind of bringing back to your roots and bringing back to who you are. Whereas an item which is maybe totally irrelevant to you, having that round as clutter isn't going to improve your life at all, and if anything, it's just going to make there's just going to be more build up, there's just going to be more chaos there, and you want to try and declutter to become a minimalist. That's one of the steps that I would recommend if you do want to become a minimalist. So tip number 3 is give your things fixed places. So if you're regularly cleaning things up and you give them a permanent place, you will find those things faster. And secondly, this helps to keep track of your possessions and prevents any unnecessary double or triple purchases. So again, in this tip, you need to keep things in their place and you know where everything is. For example, I always put my wallet, keys and phone into the same place every single day, usually by my desk here, and then I can just pick them up and I know exactly where they are all the time. Any other items which I need, whether it be things like personal hygiene or what have you, that they would all be in the shower room. They wouldn't be all in one room and in another, in multiple rooms. I would have everything in its place so that I know that that's where it is and that's where it should always be. And if I am buying anything more, I'm going to give that a place if I feel that I need that. If for some reason I do want to purchase two of the same item, I look to see why I do need two of the item and if I should go ahead with the purchase or not. Sometimes you do need a backup item or something, just in case something goes wrong with the first one. But in general, you want to have one of that item and then just stick to that one item. There are cases where a more essential item, maybe if it's for work, it would be a good idea to maybe have a second of that item if it's not too expensive to purchase and it's not a very big item. You might need it for work and then you can warrant the purchase. But again, anything else which it needs to be kind of kept down with the purchases. So tip number 4 is limit your use of energy and electrical. So get up without an alarm clock go outside, move on your bike or walk in and dry your clothes outside rather than using a tumble dryer. So again, this is just really using energy to its most efficient as possible. Not only does it have a green effect, you're reducing your carbon emissions, but it has a good effect on you, like walking or cycling can have a really good effect on you to promote endorphins and to promote like a well-being in your body. Always taking the car can make you sometimes feel sluggish and lazy, especially when it's a small journey of maybe 10 minutes. Just taking your bike or walking is just going to be so much benefit to you. Even something like your phone, management of your phone, trying to reduce how much screen time you have. Not only is that going to be better for you in terms of the amount of distractions that you have and your mental clarity, but it's going to be so much better in terms of your phone battery usage, and your battery will last longer because, as we know, your battery deteriorates for every charge that you have. Over time, too many charges on your phone will deteriorate the battery to the level where it cannot maintain even a good charge for the whole day. Once it drops sort of under 80% of its maximum capacity, the battery becomes very inefficient, and charging it actually gives an inefficiency to the phone. And that's when you should either replace the battery if you've got to that stage, or you need to look at ways that you're reducing that consumption of energy so that you have more time to use that device for longer. Because not only is that going to help you financially, but it's also going to help you mentally in your clarity. The tip number 5 is quality for quantity. So buy less things, but higher quality items. For example, find items you use on a daily basis and purchase the high quality version of that item rather than the lower cost item. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that it's always a better item by doing this, but in general, a higher priced item, providing it's not like from a brand, which is just a brand name, which has increased the price. It's an actual quality item, which can be from a brand, but it isn't just a brand label, if you will, which has just been slapped on it, which is the same item as it would without the brand label, but for 50% more of the price. So again, this is going to last you more time, and you get more use out of this over time, and it's going to cost you less in the long run. Buying cheaper versions over and over again is going to increase your costs, and is actually going to become more expensive to do that than to buy the high quality item, paying the full price for it, and then using it for the amount of time that you need. An example of this is shoes. A really good quality pair of shoes may cost you quite a lot. You may even have to spend over £100 for a good quality pair of shoes. But if you get those 10 years out of that pair of shoes, even if it was £100, it's only £10 a year. Now, if you're buying a cheap £25 pair of shoes, and you're having to replace that every year, over the 10 years, you're looking at £250. So again, in the long run, buying the high quality item would be better in that sense. I certainly think for something like shoes, having a good quality shoe is really important. You're going to be walking loads, as you should be. So again, quality shoes. I personally only have 3 pairs of shoes, 2 pairs of trainers, one which I use for mainly walking, one which I use if I am doing any exercise, and then I have a pair of like smart shoes, and that's all I have for my shoes, just 3 pairs of shoes, and it does me perfectly fine. So yeah, I think being a minimalist in 2020 is an amazing thing. I think everyone should give it a go. It's maybe not for everyone, but I think it's a good sort of philosophy on life and a good way to look at things, especially as our environment is being affected at the moment, and our consumption of things does need to drop dramatically if we are going to have the best for our planet in the long run. So hopefully, guys, if you did like that video, give us a like, give us a comment on your question, if you do have any questions for me, or give me a comment of I've started being a minimalist, and when did you start, or how long have you been a minimalist for. Just give me some comments down there. Try and get this video views up as much as we can, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching that video. Please like, comment and subscribe, and check out this video.